Greetings, my fellow ghosts and ghouls. I am Thomas. I am the native speaker here in Project in Katowice, and I am here to tell you about the history of Halloween. So, grab your cup of blood and listen to me. Tasty. So first, we need to go back thousands and thousands of years ago and have a look at the ancient Celts, the first civilization in the whole of Europe. Now, the ancient Celts, they divided their year between the dark half and the light half. The dark half started on the 31st of October, so Halloween as we know it, and it was popular to believe at this time that spirits and ghosts from the other world can easily come into their world and attack the Celts. So, what the Celts did is that they disguised themselves to look a little bit different, and they built bonfires. Now, what did the bonfires attract? The bonfires attracted insects, because insects are drawn to the light. Now, what eats insects? Bats. So, this is why the bat is like a mascot of Halloween, and we have the ancient Celts to thank for that. So, now we need to wind the clock forward into the Middle Ages and have a look at the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church, they had a celebration called Lemuria. Lemuria is what we know now as All Souls Day. Right. And while Catholicism was expanding, they thought, well, let's change the date of Lemuria to the 1st of October, because the 31st of October is Halloween, and so they made it easier for non-Catholic people to be converted into Catholicism. Yes, bet you didn't know that, did you? Now, the night before All Souls Day was called All Hallows Even, and then it was shortened to All Hallows Eve, and it was shortened once again to Halloween. So this is how this celebration got its name. Alright, now we need to wind the clock forward a few more hundred years into the 1800s. Now, a lot of Irish and Scottish people were at this time migrating to America, and they brought their tradition of Halloween with them. Right. Now, it wasn't until the 1930s until Halloween became a little bit more commercialized. So this is when companies started producing costumes for their children to wear and to go out trick-or-treating. So just a second, I will tell you a little bit about trick-or-treating. So, while the Catholic Church was expanding, the Catholic Church told people to go and pray for the dead, because it was generally believed that these souls of the deceased from the families, they weren't in hell and they weren't in heaven. They were in a place called purgatory. Purgatory, it's not hell, it's not heaven, but it's still pretty fiery. So, the Catholic Church told people to go out knocking on doors, begging for soul cakes. Now, for every soul cake that a person received, this was equal to one prayer for the deceased of that family, so that their soul could go from purgatory into heaven. And so this developed into now what we know as trick or treating. Let's have a look at this pumpkin here. It is called a jack-o'-lantern. Right, so you might be asking yourselves, why do we carve faces and put candles into pumpkins? The tradition goes back also thousands of years ago. Right, there was one time a guy named Jack who ended up in hell, and he was so evil that the devil kicked him out of hell. Not something easy to do. The devil gave him a turnip, and he got an ember from hell and put it inside the turnip, and Jack was cursed to walk around earth with this turnip lantern forever. And so the turnip somehow developed into the jack-o'-lantern, or into the pumpkin as we now know it, because they become ripe before Halloween, and these pumpkins, well, they have no flavor, so you can't really cook with them. Right, so we have covered a lot of things, and I have shown you that the Catholic Church does have its finger in this pie. So next time some moherowa bereta in Poland complains to you that Halloween is the devil's work and all things bad, you can tell them to read up on their history. I'm Thomas, the native speaker from project here in Katowice. Have a happy Halloween, everyone.